Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. Every day. We do it our own way. Sing it out every day. Yeah, let's make it a good day. Every day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now, here's Jason.
I looked over there, and executive producer Jeff, when you see me look this way, I'm looking at Jeff. If you see me look this way, I'm looking at the audience. I look over at Jeff, and Jeff goes, look at the people over there. They're all wearing similar T-shirts. And I look over there quickly, and I thought the T-shirt said Spank Squad. Well,
a little different.
I'm like, well, that's an interesting club. Yeah. I want to be a part of that club. Yeah. Welcome to... And I think we actually killed one of them because, again, I'm backstage and we have speakers right by the audience area. They're giant speakers. And every time you hear our theme song done by Yam House, the very beginning goes, you know, every day, every day. And floor director Thomas controls the volume in the back, and the speaker's right by the Spank Squad right over there. And Thomas is back there, and he goes, "Yeah, I think I'm going to wake him up today." And he pumps. Hold on. And he pumps the volume a little bit because I do like it to be loud. I like to keep the energy. So he cranks the energy, and then Yam House goes, every day. And I heard one of the Spank Squad go, oh my God! They're fine now, yeah. I don't even have a good transition for her today. Anything I'll say will get me into HR, so I'll just say, it's Falen. Oh, it's a mess over here. Well, I got it. Yeah, everything's a mess over here. Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. My desk is messed up. I did this interview, guys. You'll see it. You'll see it tomorrow. Before the show, I came down here early because I interviewed. You guys know I'm obsessed with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader show. I did an interview with Coach Kelly and then two of the cheerleaders, Jada and then Reese, who I've been a little critical of but in that interview you will see she's very sweet, and it makes me, this season kind of changed my opinion of her. But yeah, my desk was all out of sorts because I was doing it via Zoom or whatever.
I would imagine they're all really sweet interviews, though. Like, I'm sure that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and not to be mean, but like they're kind of pageanty, right? They're only selected because they fit a certain thing, right?
I just, you know what it is? I'll tell it tomorrow. But no, but they were, you'll see the interview, just seeing Coach. I felt the need to call her ma'am. Oh. You know what I mean? I just, ma'am.
Yes.
But it was so good. It was fun to talk to him. Yeah, we'll air that tomorrow. And by the way, coming up a little bit later, today.
It's not that funny.
Oh, but it is. You will see, I got a frantic text message from my dear friend Falen yesterday during our pre-show meeting that led to the entire staff coming into the parking lot to help her. And you will see, and we grabbed a camera, because you know we do everything on camera. Eric grabbed a camera and we came out to the parking lot, and you will see why Falen needed our help coming up a little bit later. But right now, yeah. Oh, it was good.
Everyone likes to feel wanted, you know? So.
Yeah. Right now, though, let's get started. It's time for the hot dish. Roll it, Leo. Here we go. First up, Brad comes clean. Brat Pitt opening up about his personal struggles in a, dude doesn't do a lot of interviews. This is a rare sit-down interview. Pitt, this is why. Pitt's out there promoting the much-anticipated F1. By the way, that opens next week. Thanks for the one clap on that movie. Yeah. Brad plays a retired Formula One driver who returns to the track to mentor a young rookie. It's basically Rocky V in a car. Yeah.
I hope there's a montage sequence there.
Thank you. Only people my age got that joke. Anyway, this week, Brad sat down for a podcast interview with his buddy Dak Shepard. The two first met in AA, and Brad talked about how beneficial that has been. Watch this.
I am a stubborn, but I am also, when I've stepped in, pretty good at taking responsibility for it and owning up to it.
Yeah.
And now it's a quest to, what do I do with this? What, how can I write this and make sure it doesn't happen again, or I just
be better.
Yeah, be better. Be better.
Yeah.
Step up. Sure, I was a bit shy. I can generally be a bit shy in any kind of situation first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just remember getting my arms around it pretty quickly and really, it became a thing for me. It was really like something I'd look forward to.
Brad said Brad said he needed to make some changes after his very messy divorce from Angelina Jolie, which is when he first tried AA. Now, we'll comment in a minute, but Brad is also on the cover, connected to this. Brad is also on the cover of Us Weekly, and something said, written inside, has a lot of people talking on social media. There's the cover right there. A PR expert is interviewed for the article and talks about how Brad survived all of the drama with his messy divorce from Angelina and breakup with Jennifer Aniston. And the PR guy, the dude says about Brad, quote, "When you're that genetically gifted, scandals have to work twice as hard to stick." Basically saying because Brad is hot, he gets away with more. And you had a hot take not a hot take, but you had a take backstage when we were going over the show.
Well, I was just curious. I just asked like how he does he's gotten a pass. Like because I feel like we live in an era where everyone's looking to cancel everyone. And what Angelina Jolie said about their marriage and ending was not good about Brad. And somehow, I feel like no one cared at all. No, he didn't get even remotely canceled for a minute. And that's so surprising. So I just thought it was so bizarre. I also I know he's a good actor, but I think a lot of other good actors have been accused of things. They didn't get a pass for them, and it really affected their careers, but it doesn't seem to be the case for Brad Pitt.
No, I think he's in that rarefied air because you can ask the same question, and I'm going on just, forget the messy divorce. If you got rid of everybody in Hollywood who had a messy divorce.
Yeah.
I mean, there wouldn't be, we would have stick figures in movies,
Yeah.
But where I agree with you is what he's accused of as far as the complete breakdown of a relationship with his kids. I think but I will say...
None of his kids have a relationship with him at all.
But I think in the press, I think he has gotten it worse. You know who I feel that way about? Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise seems to get a bigger... Look, a pass is a pass is a pass. But I think Brad got... When everything was boiling up 5-6 years ago... Oh, I think Brad got ripped in the tabloid press, but Tommy Boy just flies above it, and no one really asks him about it.
Well, I think one difference is Tom Cruise has never been accused of any form of abuse.
It's very true.
And that was, oh, okay. Then I don't know about it. If so, that was my bad. Maybe that happened before my time. The Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, that was one of the
airport
accusations
situation.
And what his kids said as well, that they witnessed it. So I guess maybe I don't know about like Tom Cruise back in the day when I was like very little, if he had accusations.
Yeah.
I don't know, but.
It's both of them just kind of like, oh, you know, they're the last movie stars and kind of, you know, some of the last movie stars, and it's like we're still going to go see their movies. Next in the dish, show me the money. That's right. Show me the money, says Barbra Streisand. That's what she's saying to the team behind Meet the Parents. So you may remember Babs starred in the past 2 movies playing Ben Stiller's mom. Oh, God, I got to rewatch this. With work underway on a 4th movie, Barbara was asked by Variety if she's coming back, and she says, only if they pay her a lot of money. Yeah. Streisand says, well, and this is why. Listen to this, friends. Barbara says she was paid less than all of the men in the movie back in 2004 when the first sequel came out. She said, quote, pissed her off. End quote.
Yeah.
It should. Barbara's 83, which, by the way, can't believe that. She's promoting a new duets album featuring Ariana Grande, Paul McCartney, and Mariah Carey. Fallon, what are we going to be doing when we're 83? Are we going to be releasing a duets album?
I don't know.
We better not be sitting right here, yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Can you? Well, first of all,
if I'm 83 sitting here, Jason's 93. So I don't. That's not what you want. I don't think.
I'll look like Rose Kennedy toward the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fallon will just wheel me in. I'll be like, I'm caught. You know what I mean? Every day.
I'll drape an Afghan around
That's
you,
right.
and then we'll do the show.
We'll do a little segment where every day Fallon drapes a different Afghan around me. That's right. There'll be.
Oh. Today's Afghan was made by Claire in Mankato, Minnesota.
And then the salespeople will sell it. I'll look like a NASCAR driver.
Yes.
It'll be like, today's old Afghan is sponsored by Valvoline. And then it'll be like on the back.
And check out the Jason Show merch. We now are selling Afghan.
That's right. We have a lot more dish. We'll be right back. Back in a moment. I can't even think about the math. If you're 83. Oh, God. Welcome to season 31.
This is nice.
It's nice, isn't it?
Cozy.
A woman made this for us in our old show colors, and she made it because she came to the audience and was so cold that when she came back, she made an Afghan for herself.
Aww.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, thank you.
I'm cold. Anyway, yeah. I look like Donny Osmond and Joseph. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
A little bit of this.
Okay, let's get back to the show.
It's so cozy.
You look like, anyway. Okay.
Good call. I don't know what it was going to be, but good
It was going to be something that would get me in a lot of trouble.
Sure.
Welcome back. He's a Hollywood legend, but you may be surprised which movie earned Arnold Schwarzenegger his biggest paycheck. What do you think it is? Well, he revealed it to Andy Cohen. Listen to this.
What film earned the biggest paycheck, and how much was it?
Well, number one, it was Twins.
Yes?
Yeah, Twins, because we had got no money, no salary.
You got a piece
but
of
with
the back
ownership,
end.
exactly, a piece of the back end. And it was fantastic. We went all the way to the bank with that one, yes.
Did you make more than 20 million on that
Oh,
one?
yeah, much more. Come on now, it's a matter of the day.
More than 40 million?
It was more than that, yes. Exactly.
Really?
It was more than any movie I've ever made. Let's just put it this way, yeah.
Wow. Wow. That is, just think about that. That is a huge payday for a movie.
Yeah.
Good for him, though.
I know. That's what, like, you look at when we talked about Sinners, how Ryan Coogler got, like, a portion of that. So that amount of money is going to be insane.
By the way, listen to this, everybody. Arnold said he was close to making a sequel to Twins called Triplets. He said Eddie... What the hell was that? Was that a gong?
There was a gong in the audience.
Somebody's ringtone is a gong? Was it the Spanx
water bottle?
Oh, water bottle. Oh, well, at least it wasn't the Spank Squad. Yeah. By the way, can I tell you? I went over to the Spank Squad in the commercial break.
They're like, quit calling us
I know,
that.
but I went over to the late. No, they're stuck with that forever now. But I said, I went over to them and I go, "Where are you guys from?" And like a group of triplets, they all spoke at the same time. They're all like, "Hastings." Yeah. By the way, anyway, Arnold said they were going to make a sequel to Twins called Triplets. Eddie Murphy was going to play the third brother to him and Danny DeVito. But listen to this. The movie didn't happen because director Ivan Reitman died.
Oh.
Reitman was going to do it. What a big loss, man. That would have been hysterical.
Or horrible, but still.
Oh, yeah, right.
But I still would have enjoyed it.
More Dish now, honoring a broadcast legend. One of those days I couldn't wait to come on the show. Last night I got a chance to watch the documentary film about Barbara Walters. It's called Barbara Walters Tell Me Everything. Take a little look here.
Are you sorry you didn't burn the tapes? Did you ever order anyone killed? No. Please, do not interrupt me. I don't care if I'm shiny. I care more about this interview.
Whether it was her looks or her voice, just the fact that she was a woman, there were people who just didn't believe in her. And she loved proving them wrong.
Okay, let's go.
Her job was the love of her life.
But are you afraid of showing emotions?
There's certain things I just don't enjoy sharing. What's there to know?
You would drive me nuts, and I would drive you crazy because I would be saying, but you know.
Well, we could try it and see if it worked out.
I think we'll stop and reload.
This was... I literally could talk to you about this for a half hour. I have so many takeaways. If you have just a shallow pool of knowledge about Barbara, but you're curious, I would watch this. As an avid fan, as a person that loves TV, an indoor kid, this isn't a criticism, but I didn't learn a ton that I didn't already know. But boy, I sound like I'm 11, but boy, was it great to look back at the archival interviews. You're looking at some right now. You know, some of my takeaways that I knew, but this leveled it up for me, was the unbelievable level of misogyny and sexism that she encountered, but she barreled through. And I'm not pandering to women by saying that. And it's not, she really did. Every one of the men that she was paired with at the beginning of her broadcast career treated her horribly by anybody's standards. I'm not trying to be woke or, again, pander to women. Anybody can look at how she was treated and say those men were disgusting. This is the part that surprised me, though. If I did kind of have I didn't know that. Peter Jennings treated her like trash. Peter Jennings never complimented her and talked down to her. And they show clips where, and I respect Peter, and Barbara said, oh no, he interrupted her, he was awful. But what was so great was the other end of that. You guys have to watch it because there's a great moment. I was a little too young there were peace talks going on between Egypt and Israel. And Barbara, the head of ABC, flew Barbara to the talks because they found out that on another plane was Walter Cronkite and John Chancellor, who was the anchor of NBC, and Roone Arledge, the big boss at ABC, said, get Barbara on a plane right now. Barbara was their big interview person. Barbara got on that plane. I'm getting chills because it was just a great moment where Barbara proved them wrong. Barbara got on that plane, was on the same plane as Sadat, who was the leader of Egypt. And Sadat walked right past Walter Cronkite and right past John Chancellor and said, Barbara. and you can see Walter Cronkite's face like, what? Like, what? And it was just, and all the women, every woman, and this isn't hyperbolic, every woman in broadcasting owes a tip of the hat to Barbara, because she really built the bridge that every woman broadcaster, TV journalist is walking over, because she did face all of those headwinds. And they talked about how she made all these relationships. She had a lot of acquaintances that she fostered to know, you know, and foster relationships are across a wide swath of people, political figures. She dated a lot of people too, and some question whether she dated some people strictly for the access that those relationships would give her. And guys, it wouldn't be
the first time that happened, so.
No, but it was endlessly fascinating. Give it a watch. It's on Hulu. It's called Barbara Walters Tell Me Everything. Let's move on. But we're going to stick with TV. We're going to stick with TV, too. By the way, Oprah's interviewed. Katie Couric, my ex-wife, is interviewed. One more little quick thing. They also talk about the rivalry between Diane Sawyer and Barbara Walters. Ooh, that's juicy.
She's not interviewed.
Barbara, oh, thank you, Jeff. Diane is not interviewed. Diane, thank you. I wrote myself a note. The one interview that I thought, oh, why isn't she in this interview? They never talked to Diane Sawyer. Connie Chung's in it.
Did they talk to people that were close, like in her family? I know she has a
her
weird
daughter Jackie.
Her daughter.
No,
yeah.
Jackie was not interviewed. Friends were.
Okay.
Friends were, but Jackie no. And then I was shocked that Diane Sawyer was not. Cynthia McFadden from ABC was, but not Diane. Next to the dish, sticking with TV, it will soon feel like Y2K all over again on the FOX. The network is bringing back Fear Factor.
Okay.
Thank you for that reaction. If you don't remember, the show first aired for 6 seasons on NBC in the early 2000s. Had stunts, snakes, creepy crawlies on people, Joe Rogan. Johnny Knoxville will host a new version of the show called Fear Factor: The Next Chapter.
I didn't care for the original show necessarily, but it's smart. I mean, everything on TikTok is a challenge or something, so it just feels like this would feed right into that.
Per usual, you are so right. I did not love the first show, not my kind of thing. But if I'm Fox, and think of who's the king of pranks, Johnny Knoxville, who, by the way, when Jeff was telling me about the show today, I told him, I said, whenever I think of Johnny Knoxville, one of my favorite celebrity stories is Johnny Knoxville. I was in New York for Dukes of Hazzard, the movie. Or you guys remember the movie they made? Johnny Knoxville's in that movie, and I walk into Jessica Simpson's room to interview her, and audience, I'm no kidding, there were about 10 to 12 handlers futzing over her, just doing everything. I walk into Johnny Knoxville's room next, completely empty. Johnny's sitting wearing sandals in a chair, and there's one friend of his sitting on the floor picking his feet. And I walk up, and Johnny stands up, and Johnny's like, "What's up, dude?" I go, "Hi." He goes, "Let's start the interview." Jessica had to sign like forms. I had to Johnny had one friend protecting him, picking his feet. Yeah. And I've loved Johnny ever since. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everybody. Coming up in just a little bit, when we talk parenting, we only go to one person. Our buddy, radio host Colleen Lindstrom will be here with an important conversation about how to teach your kids to deal with inevitable disappointments. And speaking of disappointments, there they are. The flashers are on. Falen had a little bit of car trouble. Have they been like this for miles? Yes! And only we could help. Falen! That and more when we come back. you guys know this from time to time, and I think you enjoy this. We take a pivot from talking about Johnny Knoxville to talk about topics that are a little less silly than our usual fare. Today's one of those days. We're talking about disappointment, specifically with teenagers, so parents are going to love this. My radio buddy, Colleen Lindstrom, made a post recently about her amazing son, Ollie. There he is right there. Here's the deal. Ollie just graduated high school and was planning to go to the University of Minnesota to play baseball next year. However, listen to this. An injury changed those plans, teaching him some very valuable life lessons. Talk about turning lemons into lemon pound cake. Here now to talk more about it, give it up for Colleen Lindstrom, everybody.
Disappointment of my own.
I was going to say, Colleen had a little disappointment. You were going to get the walkout. I was going to hug you, but we can't really have you walk today because
my shoe broke. You guys, my shoe literally broke.
Leo has shoe cam.
Oh my gosh, shoe cam there. I'm like marching in.
Wait. Your shoe looks like it's in jail. Look at that. Leo, take that shot. Yeah.
I'm sad too because I love these shoes. But I'm like marching in and I'm like, these are feeling loose. And then suddenly I'm like, oh, they're gone.
Yeah.
And so I came in with one bare foot.
Okay.
And then I taped it together just for you guys.
That's right.
But it might come off again. You don't know.
It might come off.
That's how you pivot.
That's right. Expand on this in whatever direction you want about the moment, what happened. We haven't really, we waited for this. Yeah.
So Ollie, he was my 18-year-old. He just graduated from high school. We're so proud of him. He had a UCL tear. It tore right off the bone. That's gross. Put your breakfast down. In February of 2024, he had surgery on that. That's a pitcher's injury. And actually, fun fact, normal people don't use their UCL. Like, we could tear a UCL, it would be no big deal. We wouldn't even know it.
You and I would never know.
Like javelin throwers and pitchers, they need that thing. So he had to get it repaired, which then put him into a program to heal from that. And then he came back. But what happened, and we've learned that this is kind of typical, is he started to get pain in his shoulder. Anytime you have an injury, sometimes another area will refer pain, and that ended up being okay, except for that he had to rest. So he only got 6 innings in his high school season. Well, Ollie had committed to play baseball at the University of Minnesota when he was a junior.
Yeah.
When he was a junior in high school, before the injury. And so he had to kind of come to terms with a complicated choice. He and the coaches at the U decided that he would decommit, that he would not enroll at the U, and that instead he would go to JUCO, junior college, which is a great way for players to develop, and it will get him back up to full strength. And then hopefully he'll find a place at the U again, because that's always been a dream of his, to play there.
What are those conversations like?
Yeah. Well, so here's what's really cool about this is this was like, my son always knew that this was sort of could be a possibility. So there's a lot of time for him to kind of adjust to the reality of that. And we just, we don't see this as, we see this as a bump in the road. We don't see this as, the whole family, we've all talked about this. This is a positive thing. This is about giving him the opportunity to grow again. And, but the pivot is hard, right? Like, he found this out 2 days before he graduated from high school.
Oh.
And we're, getting ready to have his graduation party. And I think there was a relief of knowing that there's a plan for him to get back to full strength. But as parents, you have to parent this. Right? This is how life happens. You always are finding yourself at a place where there's going to be a bump in the road. What you expected isn't going to be the reality. And that's resilience. And that's something you do have to tend to and parent to. And so we've been really kind of just working through, like, this is just the reality that we're facing right now. It doesn't hurt that his dad was in public relations and I was in media for a long time, so you can craft a message.
Yeah.
But also some of it was a lot of talk about, like, how do you want to tell this story in a way that shows that this is a positive thing, but also has to educate people, because most people don't. I mean, how many of you in the audience know how college athletics go, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe a few, but it's sort of a different culture.
What would you say say to a parent out there, and because Ali is incredibly special, but disappointments come in different levels. I know there's a parent watching in Chicago or Detroit or somewhere where they are facing having a conversation with their 18-year-old, 17-year-old about some sort of disappointment, maybe not getting into the college. What's your best advice?
I mean, it's always important to remember I have 2 other kids too, and we do disappointment a lot at our house. We just do. There's a lot of times where you are in that position where the plan isn't exactly, maybe they didn't get the role in the play that they wanted. Maybe they didn't get on the team they wanted to play on. And our thing is like, you play on the team you play on, and you play your best on that team. You get the role you get, and you do your best in that role. And that's how we show up. That's how we choose to show up in life. And so it is a choice. It is a choice.
Do you allow for, I've heard this from people, like a therapist have said, give yourself a couple, you know what I'm going to say, give yourself some couple sad days. Is that
we do a 24-hour, you get to mope for 24 hours. That means you get to say whatever you want to say, feel whatever you want to feel, and then it's like, we got to get down to business.
Has Ali had these?
Kind of. I mean, it was...
Because he seems to be handling this.
He really is. He's happy as can be. For him, it was like, he had to go shift into like business mode. And I did say, like, take 24 hours to just like not think about it. Be a teenager. Do your graduation thing. And then we'll get into business mode. So now we're in like full-on adulting lessons at my house. Don't even get me started.
Oh, we will when we come back. Back in a moment, everybody. Adulting. It needs to be a class. We'll talk. Here with the shoeless Colleen Lindstrom.
I'm going to kick it off.
Colleen, you want to wave to the Spark Squad over there from Hastings? That's right. Yeah.
Hi, you guys.
That's right. They're from Hastings. They told me all together. Yeah.
I love it.
I accidentally thought the shirt said Spank Squad at the top of the show.
One can hope.
They're going to be back in Hastings now, and they're just forever going to be known as. Weren't you in the audience that day?
Spank Squad.
Yeah. Okay. Would you? I want to talk about adulting.
Yeah.
Because you and I share a feeling. But do you mind, photographer Eric, who, like you, I think I'm sandwiched between 2 of my favorite parents. Photographer Eric, other than being an amazing photographer, he's equally as good of a parent. You guys are talking about, because we've talked about Ali and advice to give the kid to dealing with disappointment. How about the parent? What do you do? Because I'm sure and now I live in suburbia, so I feel this. Yeah, but in the environment of other parents and your friends' kids' parents, do you feel competitive?
I don't, because I just find competition to be tedious. It's so much work, and I just don't have that in me. I try to opt out of it, honestly. Life isn't a competition. As much as we want to make it a competition, parenting isn't a competition. So I choose to not, I opt out of Olympic competitive parenting. I've just not, it's never been my sport.
Yeah.
I'm too busy with my own stuff to worry about what other people are doing. And that makes me sound like, I'm not trying to be nose turned up. I literally don't have the energy for it.
Do you put a lot of pressure on yourself?
Well, yeah, I think everybody wants to know that they're not screwing their kids up. But I'm of the opinion we're all going to end up on the couch for something, and if my name comes up, that's
hallelujah.
I mean, let's be real. I'm not perfect by any stretch.
Because. Again, Eric brought this up. When we were growing up, my mom came to, my plays and came to everything, but she also owned her own business. And I got that my mom was busy, and if she missed something, oh well. I'm not naming names, and I think it's lovely. But parents now, I have noticed, girl, they feel guilty if they miss one thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself.
And here's me at my house. I feel like the schools send way too much communication. So I read 4 words of that.
Oh, wow.
They do. I'm sorry. And I know why they do it, because people have said, we need more communication, but now I'm it's too much. So my kids routinely forget things, and I'm whoops, I didn't read that. I just am honest about it. I didn't read. That was too many words.
Yeah. Let's talk about adulting. Are you teaching? Because we think this should be a class.
It really should be.
It should be a class.
So we're doing this thing at my house, whether my son realizes it or not. Because, you know, he's 18. Like, he's going to go away to college. And I had that panicky moment where I was like, ooh, I think I didn't teach him all the things, right? So, like, because he's got little, like, he has to write all of his thank you notes. I am a big believer in thank you notes, and I have a real, I have a thing where I'm like, that person needs to get the thank you note in the mail before their check clears their bank account. So I'm like, sit down.
Wow.
Yes, I feel very strongly about that.
Colleen.
I just feel really strongly about that. It's the least you can do when somebody's been generous.
How about if they Venmo you, though? I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
No,
Yeah.
We're not touching that money until the thank you has gone out. So I've realized, like, I have a hard time adulting sometimes. Like, says the woman who doesn't read all the emails from school. And so, like, I've been saying to him, hey, we're gonna sit down for like an hour and a half, and I have like bills I have to pay, I have junk I need to do, you've got stuff you need to do, we're gonna sit, we're gonna do parallel work together.
Oh.
And so that, like, he can start to realize, like, you don't, as an adult, you don't just you think you're gonna, like, have all this freedom to do whatever you want, but the world still needs things from you.
Just the simple act, and I know you guys will, just the simple act of bill organizing.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta pay an electric bill, and you have to, and my mom was always very upfront about, you know, I knew that she paid all of my school, well, she paid for everything, but you know what I mean? But I was unaware of, oh God, I gotta sign up at Excel Energy, and I have that fundamental adulting stuff. Yes,
well, and we've always been very open about, like, this is what we do all day, you guys. Like, you think we're just, you know, but we have, like, all of these things that we're juggling, and you don't necessarily see it, but you see the results of it. We've always been big on talking about it. This is how much this costs. This is how much. When my son runs out of money for gas, I'm like, looks like you're not driving until you get paid again. I don't know. That's weird. You know, you better figure out a way. I mean, that's logical consequences.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's logical. We love her. It's Colleen Lindstrom, everybody. Follow her on social. Boom, right there. Colleen Lindstrom. When we come back, wait. I think you want to stick around for this.
Okay.
Falen's a little problem with Falen's car when we return. Back in a moment, everybody. Let me tell you a little story.
Is it about friendship betrayal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. On Monday, the Jason Show team was getting ready for our morning meeting when I got a very urgent text from my beloved friend Falen, who had just parked in our station parking lot. Over the weekend, Falen got a car and something that required, well, all of our attention, because I wasn't going to go down there by myself. Watch. Hi, this is intern Abby's first day, and on her first day we got an urgent text message from Falen. She can't figure out how to turn her emergency lights off in her car.
How many Jason Show staff members does it take to turn the emergency lights off?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And Eric.
And Eric, yeah.
We're like the Avengers.
For menial tasks.
There they are. The flashers are on. Have they been like this for miles?
Yes! I literally stick out my coffee, and I'm like, I don't know how to get into a car accident. They won't stop.
Leo, go fix that.
Help!
You're the manliest one here.
It won't shut off.
That says a lot.
Did you figure it out?
Yeah, I got it.
What was it?
Took him 2 seconds. Falen!
Messing with. Okay.
Off. Hold on, what did you have to do? On.
So I learned nothing.
Off.
Can you tell me how to turn my windshield wipers on? Because those were off the whole time. I kept having to hit it for individual wipes.
Didn't you take a class?
Windshield wipers are right here, Falen.
Wait, where? Where?
So this one right here.
But it goes up?
So there's like 3 clicks, and then
There's 3 clicks.
But when I would push it down,
no, you don't push. No, don't push.
Wait, what do I do, Leo?
Oh, God.
I can't believe they even let her drive off the lot. That's crazy.
No, I kept pushing it up. It like wouldn't keep going.
What's happening right now is Leo is now teaching Falen how to use her windshield wipers. Another thing she couldn't use her entire drive into work today. Abby, do you know how to use your windshield wipers?
I do. But it's a new car, so it's okay.
Jake and I could not figure out the air system. It was so confusing.
Do you like how Leo went in there and it took him 1 second to turn off the lights?
Okay, can I explain? The middle thing is normally where the emergency flashers would be, but my hands were never near there. I was like flipping this thing, so I kept pushing all kinds of buttons. Then I got paranoid. What if I hit like some kind of button that stops my car on the road or something?
That doesn't happen.
Well, I don't know. This car's crazy. It locks. You can't shut the door. It'll lock my keys in. I went in the house and Jake came in later and he was like, she's still in the car. She can't get out.
Mom of the year.
You gotta crack the window.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mom of the Year right here. She should have taken the class before driving off the lot.
They take so long at dealerships.
Don't you have a book?
I'm gonna watch a YouTube tutorial.
So yesterday during Falen's radio show, I text her. I go, Falen, your lights are on. Yeah.
I don't even know how, like sometimes I think it's still on and I get out and it'll say goodbye to me, but like everything's still lit up. Yes, I don't there are so many buttons and I don't get them. And there, I was like, because you're at a car dealership for hours.
Yeah, you are right on this.
As soon as I got there and I was like, how long is this gonna be? And they're like, best case scenario, an hour and a half. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was not best case scenario. It was great, but it was like because Jake kept pushing back on percentage rates. But anyway, which by the way, he's never been hotter. And then that moment, that was like, I was so turned on. I was like, while they get this car ready.
Did you take a video of that?
I was like, let's go hook up in a different car.
Yeah.
So, I was very, very into that.
Yeah.
But
was he like real stern about it?
He was real stern.
Was he?
He's like, take that back and come back with at least a point off. And I was like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
So anyway, he used to work in car dealerships and he was the finance guy, so he knows the little tricks. But anyway, so then next thing I know, they're like, do you want to sit and do the like tech sit down? And I was like, I couldn't think of anything I'd rather do less. So I went and got a sandwich instead. But because of that, I don't know how to use my car.
It's fine.
So
really, and the last thing I'll say is, it wasn't through editing. Just know, literally Leo opened the door.
Yeah.
Leo opened the door and went like this.
Well,
and that was the amount of time it took to fix it.
Can I tell you really quickly? Leo discovered, he thinks, because my coffee cup was right here, he thinks that when I went to get a drink of coffee, my hand hit it. And I said, that actually makes sense.
It does.
So that might have been what happened.
We'll be right back. Back in a moment. Oh, God. I didn't know that story about Jake. Oh. Birthday to everybody celebrating in our birthday curve. They get that sash VIP treatment. We love them. We appreciate them. Thanks to our partner, Home Furniture. Don't forget, come be in our audience. Even if it's not your birthday, go to eventbrite.com and search for The Jason Show or the Eventbrite app. Type in The Jason Show. I don't know why I made that noise. That's how I type. And come see us. We'll be right back. I told, now what are they up to over here?
She had a pageant wave going.
She did?
Yeah.
That one? Oh, yes. Let me tell you, every day, this is a little thing that controls the camera thing. And so I gave it to birthday girl over here. I go, this, here, I need you to hold this during the segment, but don't touch it, it'll shut down the show. So Erin said she held it like this. Like it was like the Holy Grail or something, yeah. I will have to admit, I told Falen backstage that Colin, my better half, I said, Colin, when I told him the story of us all running down, basically to mock you, Colin goes, you've owned a car like that. Why didn't you just help her?
Yeah. Good question. That's why I texted you. Also, I couldn't. I was also driving. I got at a stoplight, tried to voice text, and it wouldn't work because it was connected to my car, and I couldn't figure it out. So then I was just sending broken words to him.
Maybe you should have just bought a scooter. Yeah, you know, just get an old scooter. Tomorrow, he's a teacher and a New York Times bestselling author, one of my favorite people from season 9. Mr. Ike is back to talk about his latest book and his popular Matt Sprout series. You want an inspirational teacher? We got it for you tomorrow. But right now, speaking of teacher and kids, if you're a kid being bullied, go out there and be yourself. No one can tell you're doing it wrong. Bye, everybody.